days, folks. That was... Oh, it unplugged in it. Oops. Gross. That was The National. The song is titled something like I Need My Girl. Something like that. But it's a very good one, and I am 2 days away from listening to it once again. So I'm pretty excited. It's Friday, May 12th, 2023. It's 5:30, and I'm pretty excited. I've had a killer day so far, so I hope you have as well. But like I said in yesterday's video, like I'm pretty excited to start listening to music and no longer be responsible to make it. So that's pretty exciting. And so are these glasses. But anywho, so what are we going to discuss today? I think the biggest thing on my mind, let's talk about music, yeah? Because for me, music is a massive part of my life. If you were to ask me what my top 5 artists are, you won't know them. Off the top of my head, let's go ahead and put down Xaster there. So we got some depressive black metal. We've got Crystal Castles. We have R. Stevie Moore. Yeah, that's an outsider artist. We have artists like Sewer Sluts there, I think. That's breakcore. Yeah, some of those guys. You may have heard of Crystal Castles, but that's it. I guarantee it. You haven't heard of any of those other guys. And that's because, like, I have to dig through music. I can't just listen to something. This is the reason I do not listen to rap. I can't. It's too surface level. There is nothing deep there. Nothing. The most impressive rap out there is, or the most fascinating, comes out of hip hop mostly. Cause rap is just a mess at this point. Like the most interesting stuff out there is definitely MF Doom, but I wouldn't ever listen to him. The stories and his creativity is certainly interesting, but like nothing really about him. The music is just fine, right? It's just rap. Hip hop's better, but not by much. Like I can listen to a Tribe Called Quest or Black Star, but it's good music. Most of it's not great. So anywho, I have to dig deep. I have to. All of these ear-wrenching genres and terrible to remember names, like, dude, I eat it up. I that is my thing. That's my thing. I can safely say, oh, my bad. I can safely say that I am the only person living in this state that owns this shirt. I'm positive. And I'm certainly the only one you'll ever see walking around school wearing this shirt. If you can't read that, that's Burzum. That is one of the he was one of the black metal artists in Norway when all the crazy things happened, the Satanic Panic back in the 90s. And he killed a man. So, yeah, there's not very many people that you'll find wearing like a murderer's merchandise. And I'm not saying, yeah, he's a murderer, guys, let's go. But I am saying that I'm deeply committed. Let me just say that. Because music is in fact kind of my everything. And not having it this week has been very brutal. Um, I'm certainly doing much better this time around than I did. Oh, that's right. I'm doing much better this like week-long detox than I was last time. I haven't really struggled all that much. Because I'm just a lot stronger than I was last time. And I'm only getting stronger. That's the beauty of self-improvement. But, yeah. Nonetheless, I do miss it. I really miss it. It feels like a part of me is missing in a way because I'm trying to, and the great thing about these detox, oh, that's not good. My computer stopped charging. The good thing about these detoxes is that I have to really develop my like social worth, because you can't like put in your buds and get sucked into your music and like zone people out, like tune people out. You can't really do that, and it's made me. I had to find reasons to be maybe not entertaining, but like worth being around. It's not like I wasn't worth being around previously, but you make little extra changes and growth in there. So it's good to do this for sure. But that is a huge part of my personality. Like, man, I am the only person you'll ever meet that is as out there about to hit their new PR in the bench press. And what am I listening to? Dungeon synth. Atmospheric black metal. Like, see, in the last video I talked about individuality and being like your own character and not following the crowd. I like to say that I embody that pretty well. Dude, you won't meet anybody. If you want to copy that, go ahead. Go listen to some like Quest Master while pumping iron. Like this week I haven't listened to anything while lifting weights, which hasn't actually been that bad. Like I've kind of enjoyed it. I just feel really present while lifting, but I do sometimes like to listen to podcasts, so I do miss that a little bit. But anywho, stimulation. That's what I'm trying to get with this. We're 8 minutes in, but I hope this is interesting. I find this very interesting, especially seeing it in myself. Stimulation. For me, stimulation mainly consists of music. It's music first, podcasts maybe second. YouTube's kind of in there. I don't have any socials. I never will. My children won't. They won't. I don't think they will have the opportunity. And I had this conversation with my girl, but I think that that's a risk I'm willing to take. Because children lash out when you keep things from them. My kids will know all about social media, but they won't have it themselves. I'll think more into that, but it's dangerous, right? So, nonetheless, that's where my stimulation comes from. Is number one. Where are my earbuds? I think my brother took them. I haven't used them all week, so he's been using them. But my earbuds, right, and my Spotify. It's just so second nature. And I kind of broke out of that this week. It hasn't even been that big of a deal the last couple of days. But I sit down at my computer, whether at school or at home, and I have to. So it's been really nice not doing that. But I want to say 2 days ago was like maybe the hardest day, where I just remember like I was just like, man, dude, where's it at? Who are my friends? To me, like all these artists, I think I know decently enough about them, and delve deep enough into them that like I feel like I have a connection with these people, right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, when I'm on these detoxes, I notice that oftentimes I have like entire songs playing through my head, versus the average person, when they have something stuck in their head, it plays like a chorus over and over again. But when I'm on these detoxes, I have a playlist in my head. So what happens is I'll have a song pop up in my head, and every detail in there that I never even noticed, maybe not every detail, but like pretty in depth, is playing in my head, right? And then the song ends. And then I go on to the next one. And that keeps happening. So, It hasn't been so bad this time. I feel like previous to this detox, like I was trying to really keep myself on track with, or, you know, really pay attention to how much music I was listening to. And so this time around, like it hasn't done that as much, but I've noticed it still. Like songs don't get stuck in my head; they play all the way through, which is nice. But it becomes a problem when I try to like sort out my playlist and make the most perfect. Because honestly, like with the self improvement mentality, you do as much work as you can now to make the future better. The problem with that is I will spend relentless minutes and hours trying to sort out playlists to make them perfect. So then later, I don't have to mess with them. So I can do my business without. So I'm always. Nah. Get rid of that. All the time. All the time. So it's It's definitely distracting from my work. And so. It gets worse when I'm really underwhelmed. I'm usually only underwhelmed when I'm really tired. Um, that's when I start listening to podcasts while working. You don't do that. You don't listen to words. Like with music, I can kind of tune out my words a little bit while still listening to them. It's not hard to process. But when you're listening to an intelligent individual, like speaking to you, giving you long, complex phrases and sentences, then it's difficult to read complex phrases and sentences while listening to that about different topics. And that's just because I'm not even effective when doing that. I'm just underwhelmed that I need something. And that hasn't happened during this detox because I've been in control, and it's super nice. And then with YouTube's the kind of, I only get sucked into YouTube when I look something up. And what I mean by that is like when I have a question and I'm like, oh, let me find a tutorial on this or something, right? I go ahead and look it up, and then I see my feed, and I'm not on YouTube anymore, but the feed that I still have is quite interesting, right? There's things on there that I do want to watch. There's things on there that still would interest me in a way or entertain me, and I've been catching myself, especially during this detox, because like I haven't been exempt from YouTube in a way. Like I've been watching YouTube videos, but I've certainly, if I have to look something up on YouTube, I will. Like a tutorial is not stimulation you're trying to learn. You don't watch a tutorial to because you're trying to learn. You're trying to like watch and do the thing. So nonetheless, but I do notice there's a lot of not that much educational stuff. It's just entertainment, and I don't need that. Yesterday I might have talked about this in the last video. I don't know, but I made the good choice to, when I was out of things to do, I grabbed my book and I read. That's how you manage boredom and underwhelmment. A meditation is also one of the biggest forms to manage underwhelmedness, because when you're underwhelmed, you're typically doing something. Most likely, you might be on your phone, you might be doing work, but meditating, you cut out everything, and you'll probably be able to come back more focused. So meditation's huge, and you can meditate whatever way works best for you. I use the Medito app to do like the guided meditations because I do like having someone kind of bring you back in case you. When I'm underwhelmed, I'm usually tired. I usually have very little control of my brain, and that usually helps to have somebody just tell me to come back. If I'm completely conscious, or not conscious, but like present, like I am right now, then I notice that I don't need that. Like I can bring myself back if I get off track, but when I'm tired, I forget I'm meditating. I will just go off, and so that's a big thing. But I don't know if there's that many people out there that struggle with the music thing like I do, because I noticed that talking to my brother at heart, Alex, we were kind of saying that we analyze music more, like we hear more in one song than most people hear in a lifetime, because that's our thing. That's what makes us tick is music. That's our lifeblood, aside from semen, but like you know what I mean. That's like, that's our juice, And I don't think most people have that problem. If you took music away from someone, then they'd just be like, oh, that's so. Now I don't have something to listen to. Because other people's stimulation, that the rest of the modern world stimulation, the music is just like, it's a cope with their anxiety or their antisocial whatever. And that's understandable. I've been there. But that's still better than that's a future video. TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram. It's going down. I'll make it happen. Because that's a whole nother topic, and that is probably the largest evil of this world is socials. And I know you've heard this 1,000 times and you're like, no, no it's not. Are you kidding me? Am I evil? I'm on social media, I'm not evil. Like I said last video, that's not something you justify, that's not something you protect, that's not something you defend, and you don't get offended over. When somebody tells you that you're rotting away on Instagram, you're killing your attention span and your ability to be present and hold a conversation, or by being on certain websites, you're killing your chances of having a happy, fulfilled relationship. You don't get offended. You do not get defensive. You have to be humble. You have to be humble, and you have to be able to pick yourself back up and say, "Oh, you're right." Because one thing I didn't understand while in a rut, while in my for the last couple of years, right, when you're tugging and watching or just stimulating yourself with all these things, you're killing your ability to live with purpose. Dude, I've been horny today. I've been hard like 80% of today. But have I gave in? No, I haven't. Because I understood that if I just came in here and like talked these things out, like I would be more in control. I'd be more strong. I'd be more fulfilled. I feel fulfilled when I make these videos because I'm talking about a lot of serious things that some people talk about. But more people to share the word, the better, right? And so, anywho, it's dangerous. That stimulation it's evil, and what I didn't realize is you are killing your chances of living with purpose. That's why I was depressed. That's why I got this garbage, right? You can't see the label, but those are like antidepressant anxiety pills. Which, by the way, that's another like theory I have of like the unlegitimacy of depression and the diagnosis is because why on earth can you kill two birds with one stone? You hear that and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. An anxiety pill helps with depression. A depression pill helps with anxiety. It's because they're the same thing. But why does that work? Why? I don't get it. Doesn't make sense to me. You don't take allergy pills and like, oh, well, my toe fungus went away because I took an allergy pill. I don't get it. To me, that's fishy. I don't think my diagnosis of depression was really. It doesn't make a lot of sense because all I had to do was fix my life. I still have anxiety. That's still a thing, but it's manageable because again, I've worked on strengthening my mind. So, these are all things you can overcome, and don't tell me otherwise. I mean, I guess you could tell me otherwise, and maybe I'll hear you out. Dang, that's bright. Because the superior man listens. Man, that's so bright. Sorry. The superior man is approachable, and he will listen and take in what you have to say. But he will stand for what he believes. And maybe if I'm a little more knowledgeable, a little more well learned, then maybe I would understand better that like I bet you there are cases of depression that maybe aren't overcomable, but 95% is it not? Like I was pretty down bad, man. Like, I was down and out. I don't know how I made it this far or how I've done all this, but I have. And the anxiety has stayed. It's something I've always struggled with, but it is so much better. And I can't tell you the last time I was sad or the last time I lacked motivation. I'm always motivated, to some degree, always. And that wasn't the case. So I don't know what else to tell you, man. Like, this is the only way. You have to cut this out. The people you know, if the people you know are keeping you on your phone, they're bad. They're bad influence. They're bad friends, bad people. If your girlfriend's keeping you on your phone, which, by the way, why is she your girlfriend? You don't make love to your friend. I mean, you could, but you're also an idiot if you do that. So, do with that what you will. But if your woman of choice is keeping you on your cell phone, she's not good for you. Because she's also rotting herself away. Nonetheless, you gotta. There's so much that needs to be done about this, but things won't. When it comes to industries, you don't say we must stop it. Get your pitchfork, guys, and we will band together against Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok. That doesn't work. Just don't use it. If you feel obligated to use it, you don't have that much self-respect. You know it's bad for you. You've been told, and you're ignoring it because you're comfortable. But if you're comfortable, you don't love yourself. You're not pushing yourself, so you're not going to get anywhere. You'll die the same way that you are now. Like, you're not going to be any happier. You'll only be more sad because, again, you're overstimulating yourself. Your dopamine level is spiking and dropping, spiking and dropping, spiking and dropping. It spikes a little bit. That's what I mean. Like, it's a little hump and then a little one, and it just goes down and down and down. So, you have to, and I think I might make a guide on this in the future, but you have to control your mind. The human mind isn't as impulsive as you think. The thing is, you can never make the excuse that your brain or mind wants you to do something, because simply, orgasm and tasty food, junk food, and all these stimulants of dopamine, the brain likes them. The brain seeks them out. But you're not tugging every second of the day, are you? Nor are you eating junk food every second of the day. It's not necessarily possible. But if the human brain was the way that you make the excuse, I have ADHD. Oh, I'm addicted. I have a bad habit. Then you would be doing it every single second of the day, because your brain would only do that thing that releases the dopamine. So if your brain was actually that dumb, which by the way it isn't, and this is one of my proofs of religion, your brain, science can't prove spirit, but your brain and mind, which is like part of your spirit, your mind and your brain, they're separate. Science can't really explain that very well. Science uses math, and math is dumb. And that's an opinion, by the way. Math is sickening. I really don't like doing it, but that's okay. I'm getting better. But your mind is stronger than your brain. Because again, if you made this excuse, this is the way I am, then you would constantly, and then you would, you wouldn't stop. You would see a bag of Cheetos, and then you'd eat all the Cheetos, and then, even though you're full, because this is just the way I am, what would you do? You'd go get another bag and eat the whole bag. You would eat, throw up, and then eat, and then that's not how the human brain works. You don't do that, do you? So you're in control, aren't you? Somewhere in the back of your head, you're scrolling, and you know it's not good for you. Somewhere in there. That's because this isn't the way you are. You're not a way. There is no way that you are confined to being. That's not an excuse. You can't be throwing that out there. You are not a certain way. So nonetheless, I finished. Had to pause, sorry. But in conclusion, that's one lesson I've learned from this detox. So once I have music back, I am I'm gonna be very cautious. Yeah, I'll be very cautious because I need to understand that, like, as much as I really, really, really love music, like, there's work to be done. And every time I look at my phone and take a song off a playlist or add it to a playlist, I'm using mental energy, and I'll get more and more tired throughout the day. And more incapable of focusing. And I have to, like, meditate for, like, 15 minutes to reset it. And I don't have 15 minutes to spare every time I look at my phone, right? So, make good habits, guys. Make good habits. I dare you to do things in silence. When you eat, focus on eating. Don't grab your phone. Don't tell your dot to play a song or read the news. Just eat. Just eat. When you're on the toilet taking a dookie, just do your business. Like, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to do anything. So, that's my challenge to you. Just try to take more and more stimulate. My biggest rule that I'm making for myself is try to minimize multitasking as much as possible. That drains your mental capacity, your energy. So don't multitask. And you might think, I'm not multitasking, I'm just doing something and listening. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it tears away at you. You know, your ability to work. It tugs at it and kind of rips it apart. So make an effort to avoid that. I think I want to make a rule that from now on, like, I will listen to music when truly only one thing is happening. Or nothing. So if I'm at school, like, I'm not going to put in an earbud while the teacher's talking and then, like, do homework at this. I've done that so many times. I'm only going to, like, put in a bud if the teacher says, okay, go ahead, and there is one assignment to do. One assignment. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this one assignment. I'm going to put them in, and I'm going to do my assignment. Minimize multitasking. I've been in class. I've played a video, like an instructional video, with one earbud. A wired one. Take a wireless one that's connected to my phone and then play music. So I've got two things playing in each ear while doing an assignment at the same time. You didn't learn a single thing from any of those things. So, I digress. I'll see you guys all later, and stay disciplined, folks.